Welcome back to Footballology. So last night, after last night's game, I knew a lot of people were going to take to Twitter or X and talk about how the game was rigged or how the NFL was rigged or how everything was scripted and everything. And I just really irritated me looking at some of the comments, watching some of the videos, or just looking at how people were commenting and posting saying that, oh, the Chiefs are so good and Patrick Mahomes is this, so the NFL doesn't want them to lose, Taylor Swift, just anything that you could pretty much name. People were blaming the reason why the game went the way it went, but that's just not fair. I've been watching the NFL for about 20 years now, and I started off watching the Chiefs, and I've been watching the Chiefs the whole entire time. And it's in that time, the Chiefs have not had a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. We haven't had a head coach like Andy Reid. We haven't had any of those things that consistently gives us the opportunity to win. So for people to say that, oh, now the Chiefs are the fan or the favorite child in the league, if you will, it's kind of BS in my personal opinion. But that sounds biased coming from me, and that's not where I'm going with this. What I'm saying basically is that the NFL isn't rigged, in my personal opinion, and it's not scripted. It's really hard for people to say that when these grown men are going out there, putting their lives on the line, putting their livelihoods on the line on a consistent day-to-day basis for maybe something possibly that could happen. There's guys that like Ryan Shazier who probably can barely even walk again. You think that was part of the script or what he wanted? Like it was like, hey, just so you know, you're gonna break your spinal cord. Okay, yeah, let me sign up for that. Why would anyone sign up for that? And so, like, for people to always say that the NFL is rigged or scripted, I just think it's so much BS and so much frustration behind it. Because, like I said, I'm a true NFL fan, and when you actually understand and watch the game and just pay attention to everything that's happening in the game, you're not going to sit there and just automatically go to scripted or rigged. But then I start to think to myself, why do people truly feel this way? And I didn't really start to hear about the whole rigged or scripted thing from the NFL until about 4 or 5 years ago, realistically. And I was like, hold on. And that around the same time, sports betting became legal. And I come over here and I looked it up. And May of 2018 is when they start to open up sports betting to other states outside of Nevada to make things more accessible to people. So now you don't have to go to Vegas to place bets on sports. No, you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And that's what people are doing. And so now I start to realize that, oh, now things are rigged and now things are scripted when they're not going your way. And I think that's BS because when things are not going your way, when everything's not working, when that $10 parlay not hitting into 100K, everything has to be scripted or rigged or anything like that. And it's just so frustrating because like you're not taking self responsibility for taking on that risk of hitting in that $10 or $100 or whatever you decided to bet because you thought you were going to hit big and things didn't go your way. And then like I went back and like I said, I looked up if the NFL was rigged, which I don't believe so. And I come over here and I see this guy post right here. Patrick Mahomes walked right in the end zone. Patrick Mahomes could have walked right into the end zone, but there's no way Vegas would have been happy wouldn't have been happy if the Chiefs covered the spread. Basically, is what he's saying. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell? What does the spread got to do with anything in that moment? You think really Patrick Mahomes is worried about a spread? No, he's probably worried about winning the game. And for Jets fans to sit there and get frustrated on things or how things played out, you got to think about this in this perspective. And at least this is how I would have received it. What he did in that moment, sliding at the 2 yard line, was probably more respectful to what he's seen from Zach Wilson and that Jets offense, realistically, because they just didn't want to give the ball back to him. And I mean, granted, it wasn't a lot of time on the clock or whatever the case may be, but we realize the Jets have won some freakish games this year, especially that Monday nighter. That opening Monday night, dude takes a fucking kick return back for a touchdown, or a punt return back for a touchdown. Boom, game over. They win. What the hell? So why even put yourself in a position like that to some crazy ending to happen? Because now what happens if the ending happens that way? Now what? Or let's say, for instance, Pat Mahomes decides to score, Chiefs are covering the spread, everybody's happy, and then all of a sudden Zach Wilson throws a bomb touchdown. Oh, the NFL's rigged and scripted again, I guess, right? So like what? There was literally no winning there. No matter how you would have sliced it, no matter how you would have looked at it, there was no way of winning. And then when we get to the game, when we actually look at the game itself, the refs were calling bad calls all night. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're a fan of. I don't care if you're a fan of the league I am. You got to call it like you see it. The refs are just on some BS last night. Plain and simple. They were flagging anything and everything and whatever they felt like doing. Things were happening all night long. And Here's the crazy part. Thursday night, opening night against the Detroit Lions, Jawan Taylor was false starting all night. He was lining up like crazy all night long. But when the game was on the line and things were getting a little squirrely, guess what they did? They flagged him and we lost the game. Not saying that's why we lost the game, but that, you know what I mean? But then I didn't see anybody talking about the NFL scripted, rigged, or anything like that. Everybody was happy. Patrick Mahomes lost. That's what it was about. That's what it was really about. Patrick Mahomes lost. But as a true NFL fan, I didn't care about that call at the end of the game because we're not talking about the Kadarius Toney drops or the Sky Moore drops or how Patrick Mahomes didn't really have a lot of time in the pocket or how like a lot of other things happened in that game prior to that call at the end of the game. But now we fast forward to Sunday Night Football, Jets versus Chiefs. And then all of a sudden now the NFL is rigged and scripted because Sauce Gardner got called out on holding when he literally hooked the guy as he was trying to break out. Okay, now it's holding. But if the shoe was on the other foot and that was a Jets receiver and a Chiefs DB did that, that Jets crowd would have lost it. They would have lost it. How's that not a call? Why is that not being called? Chris Collinsworth was in on the telecast. Why is that not getting called? Or the teleprompter? So what I'm saying here is all the people that are saying the NFL is rigged, all the people that are saying the NFL is scripted, take a look in the mirror, take responsibility. You put the $10 parlay in or the $10 bet, hoping that it would have hit for $100K to help you and your moms out, and it didn't hit. You took on the risk and you lost the money. You put $100 on it and you lost your money. I sports betted one time, and I didn't blame anybody. Actually, I'm not gonna say I didn't blame anybody, but I took on the majority of the responsibility. It was the Cincinnati Bearcats to win it all, like 2 years ago. I love their roster. Granted, look at most of the talent that's in the league that came from that roster. And I was like, there's no way this roster doesn't win. Well, they got outcoached. Nick Saban outcoached them, smoked them, and then that's $500 down the hole. I can take on that. That's my fault. That's a risk that I decided to take. So I'm not mad at anybody for that. Who am I going to get mad at? Because I'm pretty sure the Bearcats didn't make me put the bet in. I'm pretty sure Nick Saban and the Alabama didn't make me put the bet in. DraftKings didn't make MGM. Nobody made me put that bet in. But yet people will still put the bet in. So stop blaming everything on everybody else. When you decided to open up the app, when you decided to sit there and think, maybe this will hit. Because when it hits, it's the beautifulest thing ever. Great. I love it. But let a flag call it back on 30 yards and you needed your receiver to get 60. Come on now. Come on. It's not always what you think. Like, it's not always somebody else's fault. You got to take some level of responsibility in this. And that last call on Sauce Gardner wasn't the reason why the Jets lost the game last night. So stop that shit. We're not going to talk about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was on fire last night. And I knew it. I was like, the Chiefs are going to probably make him look good. He had Tyler Conklin in the hands in the end zone. Dropped. Not talking about that. Or how he overthrew Garrett Wilson just by a hair in the end zone. Not talking about that. Or how Zach Wilson botched a snap. And we're not talking about that. There's a video of Zach Wilson sitting there saying that I lost the game. It's on me. You didn't see him say, damn, Sauce, why'd you hold? No. Stop it. Just stop all this NFL script, all the NFL rigged bullshit, and just take responsibility for what it is. Like I said, if Pat Mahomes scored that touchdown right now, Chiefs are up by 10, covered the spread. But then all of a sudden, Zach Wilson comes out, which he has a good arm, decides to throw a cannon shot, boom. Hail Mary, they score a touchdown. Guess what? Now the NFL is rigged because they scored a Hail Mary. Because they didn't cover the spread. Get the hell out of here. People are just making up anything and any excuse that they can justify to themselves why they still got to go back to their 9 to 5 every Monday through Friday. Because they put in the bet and they lost the bet. Call it like you see it, people, and just stop it. These men are going out here pinning their lives, literally their livelihoods on the line. You think Nick Chubb wanted to get his knee twisted sideways? Probably not. I'm almost certain that he probably did not sign up for that. If he did, he's a crazy man, and there's some mental issues there. The same thing somebody told me, Luke Musgrave on Thursday night with the Packers. I had him in fantasy football. He goes out with a concussion. Now everybody's like, oh well, they knew that he was on everybody's ticket, so rigged, scripted. But if the NFL doesn't take concussions more serious, now the NFL is a bad organization or a bad company. They don't care about their players, blah, 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 CTE and all this. Now everybody's coming from the NFL. But now that the NFL has actually increased their concussion protocol and how they go about doing things with concussions, now the NFL is rigged or scripted. What the hell? Did we not see Tua Tagovailoa go back in that game against Buffalo last year? And the dude can barely stand up on his 2 feet and then go against the play against Cincinnati and just completely lose his brain? You want the NFL to be more serious about concussions, but then you want the player to stay in the game when he's showing symptoms or signs of concussions? Because if he does, then the NFL doesn't care about the players. But if he doesn't, the NFL is rigged and scripted because they didn't want him to cover the spread or they didn't want him to cover the bet. Come on, people. Come on, people. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. That's all I have for this rant. Realistically, it's just frustrating because people are coming out the NFL because they're losing money, and I just think that's not fair, personally. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you feel like the NFL is rigged or scripted, let me know why you feel like the NFL is rigged or scripted, wherever the case may be. And if you're not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go on and hit that subscribe button today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.